Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan from negestyle. Today's video we're going to talk about the equipment you need as a beginner, the equipment you need to have as a learner, for somebody that's learning how to sew for your first time. One of the things and the major thing we all know you need as a beginner in sewing as a learner is a sewing machine. Preferably a home sewing machine. A home sewing machine is easy to work with. It's not like too heavy or whatever. You can easily move it around, put it in the storage and put it back out. Like, you can move easily with your home sewing machine as compared to an industrial sewing machine. So that's what a sewing machine looks like, a home sewing machine. Whatever brand you want, anything that's easy and practical for you to thread and to understand. The second thing you need to have, of course, you need to have all the equipment of the sewing machine. That's the, like, different colored threads, at least black, white, beige, red, like some major colors, like those 4 colors. I think those are the major colors, or dark blue if you want to go a little bit more extra. And then a hand sewing needle for certain things, and a machine needle, and all the other things, the bobbins, machine needle, all the other things that come with a sewing machine. So that's another tutorial on its own, because I also have a video on how to thread your home sewing machine. If you didn't watch that yet, make sure you look for it. And the second thing you need obviously is fabric. Any crap fabric you could pick around to learn with, preferably cotton material or polyester material. Those are the easy materials to work with. They're easy to fold, to pleat, to gather. They stay staple on the table. They don't move around like silk and the other kind of fabric. So cotton fabric or polyester is preferable for you as a beginner, as someone that's learning how to sew. So get cotton or polyester fabric, a good amount of it, because you're learning, so you could make mistake while cutting over and over and over. Another thing that's very important is the pattern paper. Pattern papers are important, because I did high fashion sewing, like fashion designer, like study how to do your own patterns and cut your own patterns. It's easier like that than going straight to the fabric, because the paper is easy to trace out what you want to trace out and cut it out and then go to the fabric. Sometimes it's hard to work on the fabric with chalk. Let it be steel chalk or regular chalk. Sometimes it's hard to work on the fabric. So it's preferably for you to draw out your pattern, draw out whatever you want to cut and sew on the pattern paper, then you transfer on a fabric. So the other thing you need obviously is a pair of scissors, a ruler, measuring tape, chalk, pencil, sewing pins. You need the sewing pins, please, you need them. I know some people go straight on the iron. An iron, obviously, I didn't mention iron in the beginning because everybody has an iron in the house. Like, I want to believe everybody iron their outfits. Okay, if you don't have it, make sure you buy an iron, because I love to iron as I go, especially when you're working with cotton fabrics that work well when you iron them. So it's always to have the best result, not something puffy, seams line looking funny. It's always good to stitch and iron. I don't mean like every step on the way, but most of the steps on the way while you're sewing, go to your ironing table and iron. You need an ironing table that you could pass by. That you could create your own ironing table. A cutting table, you need a cutting table. Working on the floor as a beginner, so that's okay, but you could use a table, any regular table at your home, the dining table, but make sure you put a cutting mat on that table, because you might need a tracing wheel. The tracing wheel to trace out the whatever's on your pattern to the fabric. So the tracing wheel goes along with a cutting mat, like that. The cutting mat help you not to mess up your table, because I don't know what table you might be using. You're still a beginner, you don't really have to spend much buying a cutting table. You could use your regular table at home, or you could use the floor, your wood floor, or whatever kind of floor you have. So the cutting mat will help you a lot. depending on what surface you're using to cut your fabric or to work on your patterns. So let's continue. Another thing you need as a beginner, I said the sewing machine, I said the iron, I said the fabric that you need to start practicing. I said the cutting paper, the pattern paper. You need ruler, pencil, measuring tape. To go a little bit extra and to help you, like if you're really interested in this field of sewing, if like it's like a passion, something you really want to know, I'll advise you to invest on a mannequin. They range in different prices. In Amazon you can have all the prices you can imagine, but the best one is this one right here. That's the best one for fashion and sewing and all of that, because it has exact body measurements. The other ones don't really take the time to cut the shape, the princess line and all of that. The regular ones you can have for $20 and change or less, but this one is more for your draping, gives you more direction on the body shape, on the different bust line, waistline, shoulder line, like the princess cut line. This one has more details and helps you more to understand the body and to drape and to bring out your different designs. That's a little bit more professional, but you can start with the regular bodies to just throw the clothes on to understand and see, make sure it fits well. So those are the main things you really need as a beginner in sewing, as somebody that want to learn sewing. And remember, sewing is a passion. Sewing is a passion. What I mean by that, what I mean by sewing is a passion is you need a lot of patience to learn how to sew. Sewing needs a lot of patience, because if you don't have that patience, you might not take your time, you might not apply your skill, you might not apply your patience, your skills on the job. If you don't have patience to learn how to cut those little pieces or do those measurements, you need to be good at math, because there's a lot of things you have to divide by 2, divide by 4. So those are the tips and the advices I have to give you as a beginner. Not everybody can do sewing. You need to have that passion first before you can engage yourself in learning sewing. And a sketchbook is optional, but a piece of paper and a pencil, like really sketch out your idea or draw whatever you want to work on, because that will help you to stay focused. That will help you to understand exactly what you're doing, to always keep going back to it. As a learner, somebody that already know the job, they already have what they want in their mind, they just go straight to the fabric, start cutting and sewing. I do that with my outfit. Most of the time I don't draw or do a sketch of what I want for myself. I just go straight to the fabric or the pattern paper to do my patterns, or I use my standard body pattern and I put on my fabric and bring it out. That's in a more professional way or more creative way. Don't get me wrong, even those who still learning have creation. Some people are stylish, but they are not sewers. They don't sew. They are stylish, like they have the idea in their head, they can sketch it out and whatever, but they cannot sew. So those people also are well and can do well in cutting directly on the fabric without drawing out what they want. Also, another tip, another advice is you have to learn. It's a process. It's like every other thing, you have to keep practicing and practicing and practicing. You're not gonna do the best straight pencil skirt the first day you cut and sew it. Your lines will be all over the place. So one of the things you really need to learn is to sew straight lines. Like have a piece of paper and draw lines, learn how to follow those lines and sew straight. Learn how to sew straight lines, how to bend curves. That's something you need to practice well before you go ahead and start sewing on any fabric. Learn how to sew your straight lines, bend your corners. Also try to have some zigzag or some curves. Learn how to how can I put it? Learn how to manipulate your fabric under the machine while sewing. Learn how to manipulate your fabric. Those are skills that you need. Those are things you need to learn. So that when you start sewing on the fabric, you don't be all over the place. You don't have crooked lines, crooked lines will mess up the shape of anything. So learn, practice, spend a lot of time to learn how to stitch straight lines, curves, bend corners, back and forth stitches. If this video was educative and helps you a lot, and you want me to show more of these things I'm talking about on how to sew your straight lines, comment on the comment section and I'll be glad to do a tutorial on how to paddle your machine, or how to use your machine, on how to learn how to stitch straight lines or curved lines or bend corners or do your back stitch, because those are things that are important. Even when you want to start doing your own alteration at home with your home sewing machine, you need to know how to work the fabric on the machine. You need to know how to manipulate the fabric and hold it steady so you don't be all over the place. So those are my few tips I have for a learner, for somebody that's learning how to sew. I hope you did enjoy the video. The video was educative, you learned something, and don't forget to put a thumb up, comment, ask questions. I'll be glad to answer, or do a video you want me to explain more. So have a good evening, have a good afternoon, morning, whatever time it is where you are. And thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you to everybody that believe in me, and I hope to catch you on the next video. Bye bye.